What's up, squash players? It's Pierre from Squash Source. I have a review today of the Ashaway Venom X Flash squash racket. Thanks to Ashaway for sending me a copy of this to review for everybody. This is a traditional bridged frame with a 14 by 18 stringing pattern. It is a kind of common frame shape with a kind of an elongated head, if you like, but it's not super wide. I'll just compare it to the Ashaway Power Kill 120 ZX, which has also has a traditional head shape, but sticks out a little wider. I don't know if you can see that. It sticks out a little wider. It's funny, when I was playing with the orange one, with the ZX, you can see kind of there, it's much wider there, wider at the sides here, the orange one, and a little bit shorter in the throat. It's funny, in my hand it feels like dramatically different. It feels like this is much narrower and much longer, but really it's only a few millimeters, but it feels pronounced when I'm playing with it. I felt like this was much more maneuverable in the back corners in a way that I really like. That was my one downside of this racket, was that it felt big. I mean, it looks sort of funny to see them next to each other and see how small of a difference, like I said, but this was nice and maneuverable. Got plenty of power on this thing. It is it's a pretty long string bed, so you're still getting a lot of rebound on this. The stringing pattern's a little bit more open, so depending on whether you like that kind of feel, that's the case with this versus the ZX, which has a more dense pattern. The difference between these two is this has a concave frame shape, and this has more of a conventional one, a convex, the Aero Slim frame. This has a bunch of kind of little things printed on it. Aero Slim frame, zero torsion throat, makes sense, and also X fiber reinforced elasto whip zone. I don't know what those really mean, but this racket plays really nicely. So it's got decent power because of that elongated head, but also quite good control. For me, I prefer the dense stringing pattern to feel a ton of control. That's kind of a personal preference. So I think I found the ZX, the Power Kill, to have a little more control in the kind of open court area, because I could really carve the ball well, and this had a little more control in tight spaces because it had a little bit, because of the smaller head size. All in all, this is a proven shape, and I think they've got they've done a decent job with the cosmetics on this. I like the red and black and white flavor to it, and all in all, I enjoyed playing with this racket. On the scale, it was 143.4 grams, so it's pretty light, and the unstrung weight, 130 grams. So 130 gram racket, all in weight 143.5. And the balance point on this, I was really surprised to see this. On my scale, it said 37 centimeters, which is pretty head heavy, but when I was playing with it, if anything, I was like, oh man, this racket's too head light for me. So I really can't explain that number. It felt lighter than the other racket I've been playing with, and except on the scale, this is coming out head heavier. I cannot explain that. It feels very super maneuverable racket. Does not feel head heavy in my hand. It's got a very light pickup, and definitely this is a good one for a fast moving, hard hitting player. You can get, even though it's kind of funny to call it the elasto whip zone, but I do think you can get this racket through the air really fast and get a lot of power on the ball, as well as being able to control your shots in tight spaces. So overall a good entry from Ashaway. Hope that was helpful. Thanks again.